Here's a wild theory. Maybe it's because of a little thing called love. What is up, everyone? It's Kelsey with Diary of the Childfree, and today we're discussing a topic that honestly always makes me laugh a little bit every time I receive it, simply because of how absurd it is. That question is, why are you married if you don't want children? To some, it may seem like a good, valid question, but then again, so many of us have very different opinions and outlooks on what it means to choose marriage. Because while many people may believe that the lines of marriage and children can become blurred, however, they are two very separate things, and you can choose one or the other, both, or none. To state the obvious, child-free couples get married simply because we love one another and choose to commit to our partner long term. To us, it's not seen as a next step in adulthood to just naturally take, or as a stepping stone in order to have children in what many deem in society as the correct way. We get married because we envision sharing our lives with one person and one person alone. We look forward to making memories together through those little moments, travels, and more importantly, having the capacity to be there for that person in times of hardship, sacrifice, support, but more importantly, those exciting moments as well. You get to grow alongside your partner throughout age without the risk of losing yourself along the way. You don't have to rush the process, and you can continue to get to know your partner to such incredible depths that you may not have been able to otherwise. The challenge with parenthood is that all too often, it can put a huge wedge between even the most happy and loving individuals. And this sadly doesn't get recognized that often until it's far too late. Some couples definitely make it work, I'm not saying they can't, but there is in some aspect this general delusion that we're given in life where children are seen as this embodiment of true love and true happiness. But the love they describe is a little bit different. The so-called true love and happiness that parents describe is often just centered around children, of course, where in fact your own personal love life is something that gets put on hold and can suffer. And personally speaking, I'd much rather focus only on the love that I have for my husband. There appears to be this common misconception that marriage and children are a package deal, and that you can't have one without the other. But despite popular belief, and like I said earlier, while you can still certainly do both, you can also still choose between one, the other, or neither. Unfortunately, society tends to scrutinize those who go against their word, and far too often tries to make an example out of these individuals. We see this, of course, with child-free people, but also single parents, particularly single moms, same-sex parents, people who have children by themselves through in vitro, surrogacy, or adoption, in addition to children born to unmarried parents, etc. The reality is, though, whatever your life looks like, you can be happy regardless of what society says. Marriage and children aren't a package deal and can exist totally separate from one another in so many beautiful alternative ways. Happiness is simply what we make of it and not what we're told it is. And you'll rarely become or stay happy if you're constantly chasing an illusion. One of the most important points to note is that people's idea of marriage is going to vary based on who you talk to. Everyone has a different idea of what it means, its point, and its purpose. And more than ever, many individuals lately are opting out of marriage entirely, either staying single or committing to a partner long-term without the need or desire to sign any paperwork. Marriage is not the end-all be-all, and not everyone aspires to take that path in their lives. To me, marriage is a very personal choice, and I made it because I knew that's what I wanted for my life. But together, my husband and I knew that children weren't of interest in our lives and not a requirement when we said our I do's. To another though, marriage could have very biblical purposes. It could mean 2.5 children with a white picket fence, or it could even hold no desire whatsoever. Because plenty of people out there don't need a legal piece of paper to bind themselves to another in order to prove their love or commitment to another person. I think we get the idea here. There really is no right or wrong way, but just simply what we make out of our own lives without worrying or obsessing about others. What I personally like and what I hear others enjoy regarding being child-free and married is more devotion towards their partner. Instead of trying to navigate parenthood, where people are often struggling to balance the needs of their children, their own well-being, as well as their partners, you get to instead just focus on yourself and your partner. It's much more manageable, and both can benefit greatly from it. You tend to maintain strong communication skills, you spend a lot more time together, and can easily grow together as people as we continue to age and change as a result. When children aren't in the picture of your relationship at all, that love right there is so strong, because there is nothing really holding or forcing you to stay together. It's a true, genuine love, because either parties can leave at any time, and it's a matter of that person wanting to be and stay with you simply because of who you are as a person and not what you can be or what you can provide. As you get older, you start to notice that children tend to do more damage in a marriage than good. It's not the child's fault, but more so the added strain to the parent's daily routine. If two partners aren't on the same page or fail to find some sort of balance between it all, it can bite them in the butt. Personally speaking, I didn't see my husband as a stepping stone to the next stage of life. I saw him for who he was, not what society said he was supposed to be. I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life genuinely getting to know this person for who they are and what makes them them. I highly value my relationship with my husband. We're both on the same page, and neither of us want to risk what we have for those what-ifs that people try to tell you about. We are both realists and see past all those good moments that people try to entice you with, because we know those moments are going to be very limited, and they can start to feel minimal under all that stress and anxiety that you go through daily. We enjoy our marriage without children because it doesn't feel like a job that we have to continue doing once we get home. To us, our marriage and love comes natural. It's our safe place amongst all the chaos in the world. One of the most beautiful things that I tend to notice in the child-free community is all the very different backgrounds that we tend to come from, and that regardless of how we grew up, lived, and the opinions that we formed, we continue to remain open-minded and understanding with so much of what we encounter. We all know that people tend to get questioned for not being married, but seeing as this is a child-free community, have you ever been questioned for being married because you don't want children? Let me know, and please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more, make sure to like and subscribe to stay posted, and as always, keep being authentically child-free.